17% of small businesses fail because they do not have a business plan. Hi y'all, thanks so much for joining me. In less than 15 minutes, I'll be sharing with you 5 things that you can get started on for your business plan so you can be on that path to growing a successful business. Feel free to go ahead and like and share this video if you get value from it. I'm Dr. P. Thank you so very much for joining me. And I just wanted to share, I'm a strategic business coach and I've been a school psychologist for about 10 years in K-12 schools in the U.S. on both the East and the West Coast, right? And I've also been a part-time professor for online graduate psychology courses. I do enjoy coaching, teaching, mentoring, consulting, really do. And I'm also sharing with you some experiences that I gained being on committees in professional organizations. So that organizational development component, I'm bringing into this. And today's topic is the fact that 17% of small businesses fail because they do not have a business plan. And I know you might be thinking 17%, that's nothing, but here's the thing. What if you were actually in that 17%? Now you're looking at it differently, aren't you? Because now that you're in that 17%, you don't want to be in there. You thought it was a small number, but being honest, how far are you away from being in that 17%? Do you have a business plan? Seriously, have you ever thought about what your plan is for your business? Because just saying that you want to start and have a business doesn't mean you're going to grow a successful business at all. And just because you wrote out something and you're calling it a plan doesn't mean you're going to actually be successful at growing your business. Yes, writing out the plan is one part of it. That's great. You got it out of your head and onto paper. But there's some other steps and aspects and actions that you have to actually put into place. You actually have to implement if you want to grow a successful business, right? And keep it growing because you want to make it past 10 years. So do you have a business plan? Have you thought about what your business plan is going to be? So today I really want to bring to you 5 things that you can get started on right away. Like as soon as you finish this video, you can get started on these 5 things that you must have in your business plan. But these are just 5 though. There are other parts that should be included in a business plan, but I'm just going to be sharing 5 of those with you because remember, I'm all about bringing you solutions. So solutions plus actions equals results. So that's why I'm kind of just giving you bit by bit and just sharing the 5 things that you can include in your business plan today. So if you follow me, you know that, again, my background is in school psychology. And as a school psychologist and a special education administrator, there are a lot of important lessons that I learned that I'm applying to being a business coach, right? Because when you have strategies that are useful, that are effective, they can be used in different situations. And that's what I'm doing, right? So as a school psychologist and a special education administrator, I learned that it was really important to identify the problem, to identify possible solutions for that problem, to identify the resources and materials that I would need to implement that solution that we found for the problem, and then to identify that metric, how you were actually going to measure whether or not you were being successful. Those are the things I learned being a school psychologist and special education administrator, and I'm using those things as a strategic business coach because with those 4 things I was able to get that strategy. I was able to have that plan to help me with moving forward. And it's very similar when you're looking at creating and developing your business plan, right? So those four things, really helped me out. And again, those were strategies I learned in the education and psychology world that I'm now bringing to the business world. And having that plan helped out so much because let me tell you, it reduced so much frustration and that feeling of overwhelm, because when you're not sure what you're going to do, you do get frustrated, you do get overwhelmed, and we tend to shut down or maybe even give up. So that's why I really want to share these 5 things, because when you start looking at that big picture in small parts, you start to see that it's not as bad or as difficult as you thought it might be, or how people may have told you that it is. It is actually a little easier than you can expect because you're taking off little chunks and little bits really, and you're moving forward, and that's what's going to help keep you moving forward. Not looking at, oh my God, do you have a business plan? And be like, oh my goodness, I don't know what to do. But we're looking at little parts of the business plan to get you to where you need to be. Because solutions plus actions equals results. So getting you from here to wherever it is that you say that you want to go. So again, having that plan helps to reduce that frustration and reduce those feelings of being overwhelmed, right? So think about this. When you decided to start your business, you probably had one idea and you acted on it, and without really thinking about the different parts of the business, you just went and you did it, right? Then as things progress, you realize that one thing led to another, and you had to keep, learning other things and putting things into place that you didn't necessarily think about at the beginning when you started the business plan. Or maybe when you started your business, you sunk so much time and money into marketing this business, right? Because that's what you needed to do. That's what people told you to do. You market it. But then you weren't getting anywhere. You got no results. Because did you spend any time doing any type of research before you started marketing? By the way, did you even know what you were marketing? In other words, did you know what you were selling or who you were selling to? How long were you going to be running that marketing campaign? How long were you running that ad? Where were you running that ad? How much money should you be spending on that ad? And I know I'm really going at this marketing thing, but I really want to give you this example, because if you're not thinking about all those different parts, then how effective is your marketing campaign going to be? So again, it goes back to your business plan, because everything I just mentioned there are things that are included in your business plan. Some of which we're going to cover today. I'm only covering 5 because, like I said, there are different aspects, lots of different aspects of a business plan. And I don't want to overwhelm you in this video, right? So going back to this idea of this business plan and what is involved in it, right? By the way, some businesses fail because they have no specific marketing plan. So yeah, business plan is big picture, but within that business plan comes so many different components, and the marketing plan is included in that. So let's go ahead and start on these 5 things that you heard me talk about, right? So 5 things that you should have in your business plan if you want to be growing a successful business. And I kind of hinted on what those 5 things are at the beginning of this video. So I'm just going to go over what those 5 things are, right? So the first thing is you need to identify the problem that your target audience is facing. You actually got to know who your target audience is. Do you know what a target audience is? Those are things that you have to become familiar with as you're going into this realm of being an entrepreneur, being a small business owner, being an online business owner, being a solopreneur. You need to know these things. So you have to be able to identify the problem that your target audience is having, and look at identifying at least 3 problems. You don't want to list out all the problems, right? Because you want this to be a realistic plan, something that you can actually develop and work with for growing your business, because this is your business. So you want a business so that you could target an audience. So identify the problem of that audience. Then after you've done that, now you're going to be looking at the solutions, right? So for your problem, there should be a solution. Because remember, I was mentioning working in schools. Once I was able to help my school team identify the problem, we had to find a possible solution and connect the 2 together. Because you can't figure out what a solution is without knowing what the problem is, right? So you're connecting the problem with the solution, and they really should go together. So again, you identify 3 problems. So now you're looking at identifying a solution for each one of those problems, right? So make sure you include a solution for each problem. Don't be adding on more problems. Use the 3 that you have and just find a solution for those. So those are 2 things I've mentioned so far that you should be included within your business plan. And these are the basic things, the foundational things. That's what I'm covering in this video, in this live today. Those basic things that you need to have included in your business plan. Because every business should have these components if you want to lead a successful business, if you want to grow a successful business. So I mentioned 2, so let's just go on and talk about the others, right? So the third one is visibility. So by visibility, what I'm talking about is knowing what your business is about, who your business is targeting is going to help you with knowing where you need to be visible. Because you might not need to be visible all over, and frankly, if you're visible all over, then you're really looking at some budgeting issues that you should really pay attention to. If you got the funding to do that, by all means, that might be the best strategy for you. I don't know, but I'm saying to be strategic in how you are visible, and also pay attention to your budget. And we're going to talk about that later on too. So being visible, are you using direct marketing? Are you going to be using social media? Are you using ads? Are you using partnerships? Whichever thing it is that you're using, you got to make sure you're being strategic and linking it to the who of your business and the what of your business, so that it also connects with your vision for your business, right? And helps you to grow the successful business that you want. So those are the 3 so far. So number 4 that I want to talk about, hinted on it with number 3, and that's your budget, that cost. Yes, I'm talking about your money, because you just jumping up one day and deciding, I want to have a business, and sinking all your money into the business, you're going to hit $0 before you can blink. So you really have to go into starting your business with a plan that includes a budget, knowing how much money you're going to be spending. So this is just number 4 of the 5, right? You have to know your budget. You have to know the costs that are involved. And yes, I get it. You might not know of every cost when you're now starting out. But when you do a little bit of research, you get an idea of how much money is going to be involved with what you need to be doing. And this should also be connected to your goals and the targets you have for your business, right? So whatever it is that you're going to be spending your money on, you need to include in this budget, so you don't turn around twice and at $0. You want to be growing a business, not killing the business out before it even grows. So really have a budget in mind. 82% of small businesses fail because they don't have a budget. They don't, because they have cash flow issues. Don't be one of those 82%. Because again, we mentioned identifying a problem, finding solutions, being visible. The budget is involved in all of these things. So make sure to include your budget. Then the 5th one I want to talk to you guys about today. Hope you're still with me. Thank you so much. And if you're watching the replay, hashtag replay. So the 5th one I want to mention is your metrics. One of the favorite things I like to talk about when I'm looking at business plan, when looking at strategic plan, when I'm just talking to an entrepreneur, a business person about their business, is the metrics. Because you can sit and you can write out an entire plan. You can identify the solutions, identify the problems, identify the solutions, know where you're going to be visible, look at your budget. But how do you know it's all working, right? How do you know it's working? And the only way you know if it's working is by looking at your metrics. So when you're starting out, you have to have an idea of what you're going to be using to measure your success in your business. You can't just say, oh my gosh, all right, I sunk all this money over here. Oh, that failed. Because let me tell you something. What I learned in schools is that sometimes when you think a program and intervention is not working, when you really sit down and look at the metrics itself, look at those spreadsheets, those charts, those graphs, it actually is working, and sometimes even working better than you thought it was. Because when we look at things in isolation, we get the wrong idea. That's why identifying your metric is so important for your business, because you need to measure where you were and where you want to be and where you fall in between there, so you know whether or not you're making your progress going forward, if you're stuck, or if you're really just making no growth whatsoever, right? So knowing your metric, knowing what you're going to use to determine whether or not your business is successful is also important in including in your business plan. So those are the 5 things that I really wanted to share with you. And those are 5 things, they're basic things that you should have for any kind of business, whether you have products, whether you have services, whether you're online, whether you're face-to-face, it doesn't matter what type of business you have to have these 5 things. You have to be able to identify that problem for your target audience, find solutions, be visible, make sure you pay attention to your budget, and know how you're going to be measuring your progress towards your goals for your business. There's some other components of the business plan, but I'm not going to get into those today because, again, I don't want to overwhelm you guys. I'll discuss those in a future video. So until then, remember, solutions plus actions equals results. Thanks y'all so much for joining me. Bye.